When I first started going on the road, I would have to do a wake-up call. That's how I got up in the morning. I'd have to call a guy I don't know and just be like, will you wake me up tomorrow? That's the last person I would talk to, was him. I would call my wife, then a man I've never seen. You promise you go wake me up tomorrow? We would tell each other good night. So no one's done a wake-up call in probably 20 years now. So there's a guy on the road with us, he's 24 years old. He's never done a wake-up call in his life. And so we were staying at a hotel, and he saw the wake-up call on the phone. And he goes, I'm gonna do a wake-up call. And I told him, I go, don't do it. That's like an ashtray on an airplane. But he was like, no, I wanna do it. All right, so he set it up. Next morning, his phone rings. He doesn't answer the phone. He doesn't know that's the main part of your job. You gotta answer the phone and let the guy know you're awake. So then that guy, who's young too probably, is like, I guess I gotta go knock on the door. I've never even seen this service used, so it must be the most important person alive. So he goes up and he starts knocking on the door. But he still doesn't answer the door. The guy goes in the room. I swear this is real. Because look, there's two young people, they don't know what they're doing. So he goes in the room like, do I have to touch this guy? Is that what a wake-up call is? I gotta touch a guy I've never seen in the dark? So I'd imagine he started making noises, just hip, hip now, hip, 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 hoping he doesn't have to touch this man. But he had to touch him, I swear. That's when he woke up to another guy going, hey buddy, it's time to wake up. Marriage fights are great because they're all very dumb. I would say 90% of them are dumb. 10% the cops show up. But we got in a fight once over chocolate milk. We didn't talk for 24 hours. What happened is I brought chocolate milk home, and she was like, why did you bring it home? And I was like, you're supposed to drink it after you work out. And she was like, that's not true. And I was like, there's a commercial on TV that probably looked into it more than you did. So I decided to listen to them. And she said, that's just the milk people pushing chocolate milk. And I was like, you don't even know what that statement means. You don't know if there's milk people. And I think chocolate milk's doing fine. I don't think they're sitting on barrels of it. And they're like, we got to make up a lie. We got to get rid of this chocolate milk. She went to college, all right, and I did not. But she did not study chocolate milk. When is it good and not good for you? Food is I still have a problem with food. I love processed food. I love it. I'm a farm factory table guy. I want the most hands involved in my food. It's coming to an end. I can feel it. I can't do it anymore. It really hurts. And I tell myself, like, I've done it. My jersey would be retired of eating fast food. I've done all the stuff. I've had Taco Bell and threw it away in my neighbor's trash so my wife didn't find out. My dad is a magician. He's done that my entire life. He was a clown at the very beginning, just in case you're like, how do you get into something like that? He goes clown and magic. There's 2 steps. You can take them in either order. I was born, he was a clown. It was never weird to me. I thought everybody's dad was a clown. My first memory of my life is I was 5 years old, and I remember my mom walked me out to the front yard, and my dad pulled up with this old red Mazda. He's dressed as a clown. That doesn't even faze me. That's just how he left. How else would he come home? And the Easter Bunny was in the passenger seat. That's the first thing that I remember to my life. If you want to know how you get into comedy, that's a pretty good nudge. And I remember it didn't fit, the Easter Bunny head didn't fit in the car, like he couldn't sit normal, so his head was bent to the side. And I remember he had his seatbelt on, and he's just like, and I was like, I like to think about all the other people that saw that just in the car next to him, just at a red light. You're like, I didn't even know they hung out like that. So me and my dad, he just does magic now, and he's very good at what he does. He's very funny, and we do shows together. So one time magicians have conventions where they get together and they're buy and sell tricks, and they give a lecture, and they do this big show. So this guy was putting one together in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the birthplace of magic, something a lot of people don't know. And it's not, but it does sound like it could be. I don't know why. I said that in Des Moines, and people are like, I think I already knew that. They're like, yeah, he's right. So this guy calls me, he's like, your dad's performing this year, so we want you to come down, and we're gonna make you appear out of a magic trick. I'm gonna come out, I'm gonna surprise my dad, surprise the audience, everybody will go crazy, and then I'll do 5 minutes of stand-up, and that will end the show. He's like, it's gonna be like a big deal. I was like, all right, I agreed to it. I fly to Des Moines, I'm hiding, I'm in my room, no one knows I'm there. The show starts, my dad's out performing, I climb in a box backstage. When my dad gets done performing, they ask him to stay and help, and they push the box out. The trick is, the guy's a very pretty lady assistant. She walks around, shows the box is empty, and then she climbs in. Normally it just falls apart, and then but now it falls apart, and it's me, and I pop out. And you have to come out big. I don't know if you've ever appeared out of a magic trick, but if you do, yeah, you can't just be like, how you doing? You know, like, it's gotta be a grand, like, can you believe it? And I look at my dad, his face is so surprised, he had no idea. But his eyes are just like, why would you ever do this? And I was like, is this not a good time to visit you? The audience is clapping, but they're not going that crazy. Like, the clapping starts dying down. And as I'm standing there, it's like hitting me. That I was like, I don't think they know who we are. That guy told me they did, and they don't. They don't know that's my dad. They don't know I'm a comedian. This looks like the stupidest trick they've ever seen. It doesn't make sense. Like, they're like, a pretty girl goes in, then just a whatever dude pops out. That's your trick? Your trick is backwards, sir. It's backwards. And now I got to do comedy, but they don't know I'm a comedian, so I get a microphone. They're like, he's going to talk to us now? How long is this trick? And when you do comedy in front of people not expecting comedy, it does not come off as comedy. It sounds like a mean speech. They were just like, get back in the box. Where's the girl? Is she fine? Can we hear from her? Recently, I was walking to my car, and I had a college kid come up, and he was raising money, for nature, or it was for Earth. It was nature and Earth. I don't know. He used real words, but it was, basically, I felt even, and he looked at me, and he's like, it's going to Earth, and I was like, yeah, well, Earth is going through it right now. So he was telling me everything Earth is going through. It's pollution. He said our water's being poisoned. I said, not under my watch, but I understand. Crazy. I'm proud of every one of you, all right? Every one of you I'm proud of. It's different. It is great to be here. Very fun to be in New York. I live here, so that's why it's fun. I am from Tennessee, though, originally, and I still have a little bit of an accent, because, people hear it, and they always come up, and they're always like, oh, what's up, where's your accent from? I'm like, Tennessee. They're like, oh, that's cool. I have a cousin that lives in Florida. All right. I don't Are we just naming states? Is that what's going on? I don't know what. Another one PETA had to shut down. This was, again, like the 1980s. I was alive. You could fight an orangutan at a fair. They would have an orangutan just sitting in a boxing ring, and guys would pay to fight it. And I say guys because I just can't imagine one woman ever fought this orangutan. I think you could put an orangutan in a room with 1,000 women, and when they walked out, they're like, did anybody fight it? Like, it never crossed our mind to fight it.